Hello friends, I know it's been a while. I am so happy and excited to be back and giving you guys another reading vlog. I took a nice little break off social media. I just been engrossed in all of my books. I have been in a great reading mood and I've just been reading for funsies and not for, social media. And when you do this all the time, filming what you read all the time, it just kind of overwhelms you. So I definitely needed a break, but I'm here out of retirement because I got my hands on The Caretaker by Marcus Kluwer, and I just knew I had to do a reading vlog on this because this is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and I cannot wait. We Used to Live Here was one of my favorite horror books when it released, and I'm just so excited to read this. I only know a very little bit about this book because I feel like with his books, the less you know, the better. Just go in and go in for the ride. She sees a job listing for a caretaker for a older gentleman. When she gets to this house for the interview, the wife that put the listing out says, actually, this job is not to take care of my husband because he passed away, but I need someone to take care of the house. There's a specific rules that you have to do and rituals that you have to do in order to keep the house happy. That's all I pretty much know. And what I'm hearing is very divisive. Either people are loving this or people are disappointed by this book. So I'm very eager to see like what my thoughts will be. I know from his first book and from what I've seen a few reviews about this book, what I'm gathering is that Marcus Kluwer, his theme in his books is ambiguity. He would just have you in your thoughts trying to grapple about how and why and asking all these questions, and there may not be answers. So it's either you like it or you love it. I feel like with his first book, obviously there was things, I rated it 4 stars by the way. I felt like the atmosphere and the creepiness, it was so incredibly creepy. I was reading while looking over my shoulder, literally. It was that creepy. And there were some parts that I was like, wait, but what happened with this? Wait, what happened with this? Like, I had questions at the end that I would have loved to get answers for. Like, overall and just vibes only, I absolutely loved it. I'm kind of already thinking that I'm gonna get that in this book as well. So my expectations are right in the middle. I have a lot of hopes, I have high hopes, but my expectations are not as high because I don't want to be let down. So this will definitely be in this reading vlog. And I've already started this book because me and my friend Michaelin, we do a buddy read every month. And this was our April buddy read, which is Nowhere Burning by Catriona Ward. This is actually my first book by this author. I know a lot of people love her other book, House on Needless Street. It doesn't pull me, so I don't know, maybe I'll read it one day. But I decided since this is an aardvark pick, it sounded alright, sounded kind of creepy. This book, it says that this is a Peter Pan retelling with the ruthless dangers of Lord of the Flies. And I don't think I've ever seen Lord of the Flies. Maybe I should. I know it has like kids in it or something, but obviously I am very aware of Peter Pan. And if you tell me this is a creepy version of Peter Pan, that sounds so interesting. So I definitely wanted to see what it was about. I'm physically reading it, but yesterday I got the audiobook from my library. So I will be immersive reading the rest of the book. I'm about 60% in. So from 60% till I finish, I'm gonna do it immersively. The writing style itself, easy to read. I'm flowing very easily while reading it. Beginning, creepy already. I'm really loving the setting of the atmosphere, setting of the book. I'm visually seeing everything, and I love that. Where I started feeling a little bit slow and underwhelming, I was like, okay, I don't know, my feelings are changing a bit, was when I hit about the 40% mark up until like now-ish. I started feeling very confused. So we're following a few POVs, and I could see the link to the POVs, obviously, Nowhere, which is obviously a place. As for like Peter Pan, if you've seen it, we're following a young girl and her brother, where she one day finds this young girl, and the young girl invites her to go to Nowhere. And it's for kids that didn't have such a great upbringing. But she decides to go. And then we're following the POV of a man named Adam, and he is an architect, and he's working on the house, the Nowhere house. And the gentleman that lives in the Nowhere house, I believe this is a past timeline. It doesn't state, but I'm just assuming by how the story is going. And Adam is here to, you know, do some work on the Nowhere house. And the gentleman that lives in the Nowhere house is a famous actor. People know him from something he does in the book. And so, you know, Adam's there for the job, but there is a romantic feeling around this POV specifically. So I'm still unclear about that. I left off, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that was gonna be in the book, but cool. I'm here for it. I'm eager to see where that goes. And then the other POV is Mark, and he is a journalist, I believe. And he is writing or researching the Nowhere house with his co-worker, Kimball, and they decide to find Nowhere house and try to interview or try to get some type of video feed for their article. Those are the POVs we're following, and it all just feels very confusing because I'm like, I can't even think of how this book is gonna end, like at all. Like I have no idea where this book is going. I feel like at the 60% mark, I should know a little bit of an idea of like, oh my gosh, where is this going? Or like some type of gut-wrenching feelings. So far, it's just a story that I'm reading. I'm not feeling very strongly about it. I'm not hating it. I'm just like, I want more, you know? I want more like reveals or situations, like creepy situations. Like I'm craving that right now. And right now, like I said, it's just a story and we're just following these POVs. Not much has happened, to be honest. Not much at all. So I'm really hoping the ending packs a punch. Now, my friend Michaelin, she already finished it. And she was texting me while she was reading it. And she was like, I am so confused and I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this book. And I'm like, no. You know, I was excited for the book. So she was like, I don't know, man. This not feeling my cup of tea. So I was like feeling a little like disappointed already. But then she finished it and she said, okay, it all clicks at the end. It's worth the read. So I said, okay, I'm gonna dive into it. So I trust her judgment because she is hardcore when it comes to her reviews and her commentary on books. So I trust her a lot when she tells me a book is good. So I'm excited to see the ending. So you will see me finish this book. And then as for my other reads, to be honest, the other maybe one or two other books, I'm not sure how many books I'll be reading in this vlog, but I did get the arc of Bone of My Bone, and this is Joanna Van Veen's newest release. It releases, I believe, May 26 or something like that. I'll put it on the screen, but it's coming out in May. And I loved Blood on Her Tongue. Absolutely loved. It was a historical horror. I love historical horrors. It is definitely a book that I have my eyes on. But then I also got a book from my library. It's an ebook, and it is To All Those I've Killed Before. I've had so many of my book friends recommend this book. They say it's very dark, very disturbing, and it's a short read. I think it's like 200 pages. And I want to read this because I've had this on hold for a while, and I finally got my hands on it. And I just don't want to purchase the book. I'd rather just read it through my library. And like I said, it's a short book, so I think I might gravitate towards that book because of the timeline and how long I have it for. So we'll see when the time comes, but I know for a fact that I will be definitely reading these two in this vlog. So nonetheless, let's get reading. I hope you enjoy, and if you do, please like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the vlog. To mention, I had another book that I started yesterday, and it's a new release as well. It is Yesteryear. I got that on my Libby for audio. When I was hearing about it, I'm hearing mixed reviews, but the premise sounded really interesting to me. I do plan on finishing it in this vlog, but this book is about a trad wife. She is this sensational influencer. Lives on the farm with her 6 kids. She's the perfect wife, perfect mother, but behind the scenes, she has nannies, she has a camera crew. It's very, right now, it feels very real. Then one day she wakes up in the year 1855 and has to be a real traditional wife. To me, that premise sounds so good because not only do I love historical anything, it just sounds like she's probably going to eat her own words, and she's probably going to know the real truth about what it is to be a trad wife. I know that this has great conversations, and so far I am about 100 pages in from what it says on my Fable app. So about 25% in, and I am really, really, really enjoying it. I'm loving the commentary. This main character that we're following, her name's Natalie, the mother, as she's a very unlikable character that you just can't help to want to know more about. So far, I'm really enjoying it, and I had a feeling this is gonna be up my speed when it comes to books. I feel like a lot of people are not liking this because they're thinking it's a thriller. I do not think this is a thriller. It may be like, maybe have some suspense, but this is definitely more of like a literary fiction. Just love these kinds of literary fiction books. So far, really enjoying that one. So far, reading Nowhere Burning. Said I'm still feeling like okay about it. Like, it's not blowing me away at all. As of right now, it's feeling like a 3-star, because if not, I'm unhauling this book. I have 2 bags, huge bags of books in my trunk that I will be going to a local bookstore in St. Petersburg to see if I can sell them. I get a good deal because there are a lot of good conditioned books, and books that are like brand new, I never even read. I just, you know, receive them from publishers, and unfortunately, I just know I'm not going to get to it, and I'd rather have someone else be more appreciative of it. And I just have no room. Like, I have to be selective of what is on my shelves. So yeah, if this book is a 3-star, even a 3.5-star, I think I'm just gonna obviously review it and get my video out, and then I'm just gonna unhaul it. I just don't want books on my shelf that I just don't love. I'm over it. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I will continue reading. Finished Nowhere Burning by Crisreads Word. I wound up giving this book a 3-star. I did enjoy the atmosphere and the writing style. It was very easy to get to or read. The atmosphere was very creepy and eerie at times. I do feel like the author had a lot of missed opportunities when it came to that even more creepier atmosphere and creepier situations. All the POVs that we were getting, they all came together in a way that I really enjoyed. But within the storylines of certain POVs, I just felt like wasn't needed. It wasn't needed, and I feel like there could have been so much more that we could have gotten within those stories instead of what we got. So that's something I definitely would have preferred. And there was certain things at the end that just felt like unnecessary. It felt like all over the place, to be honest. And me and Mikeline, which is my friend that we buddy read this with, she felt the same exact way. She actually rated 3 stars as well. And we were just wanting so much more. This was just all over the place, a little disjointed, a little underwhelming, I have to say. So I will be unhauling this, unfortunately. But, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to reading more from this author. Like, I hear good things about her, so I would give her another chance. But yeah, sucks to say, but it just didn't wow me the way I wanted it to. I did enjoy the references with Peter Pan came involved. I did see a lot of Peter Pan in this book, and I did enjoy that. But man, we could have gotten so much more from the story if the author kind of went different routes. My next read, The Caretaker, as you can see in the B-roll, I did read a few pages, but unfortunately I couldn't stay in the cafe that long. This is going to be actually our next buddy read for May, but we're definitely going to read it sooner than that because we both got this book, me and my friend Mikeline. So I'm excited to hear her thoughts. She's already started it and she says that it's been really good so far. So cannot wait for this. This is a 5-star prediction. I really hope it packs the punch. I will probably check back in with you guys tomorrow or when I have more thoughts on the book. It is already Friday evening. We're about to just wind down and relax. I will check in with you guys then. Okay, I am updating you at the park. We are with the boys, the kiddos, playing some ball and playground, and I wanted to bring in my book so I can get some reading done and my picnic blanket. Sorry if you hear kids playing and the wind because it is very windy. Tried to put some weight on it. But I did want to give you guys a little bit of an update. I am about 70 pages in into the caretaker, and I do have thoughts already. So far I'm enjoying it. I did tell you guys we're buddy reading with my friend Michaelin, so we are currently at the same speed. She's about 55 pages in. I just hit 70 pages, and right in the first well, I want to say it's a prologue, but it doesn't say prologue. It says, okay, yeah, it just says follow the rights. So I would consider this more of like a prologue, because the pages don't even start with page 1 from this point. They go in Roman numerals to page like 10, and then it starts page 1. So technically I'm on page 80. That first chapter is so creepy, so creepy. We're following a gentleman that is doing the rites, and things don't go as planned. And so things don't go as planned while he's doing the rites this night. And what he calls is the visitors, which is this entity, is what they're saying it is. Honestly, we still don't know what it is, but this is what the gentleman is calling the visitor. And he's kind of going through the rites and his what he has to do every night. And it just, there's moments in this chapter that already was giving me the heebie jeebies, and oh my god, I just love that feeling. I absolutely love that feeling. And then after we do that prologue, we go into the POV of we're going into the POV of Macy. And I don't remember if they said her age. I think she's young 20s. POV with Macy, we are first learning that she's trying to get a job. She needs a job. She is down and out. She takes care of her 17-year-old sister. I believe her dad passes away or passed away. We're slowly learning about her family, and I'm not sure if he passed away, but he's currently not in their lives right now. It's just her and her sister. I am really, really enjoying Macy's character. There's one quote in here that I had to tab because I related to it so much. So this sentence, or Macy's dialogue, she says, Despite all my best efforts to appear happy, likable, and highly employable, people always thought I was mad about something. It felt like I had a big sticker permanently plastered to my forehead, Sharpie scrawled, reading, fuck off. And my whole life, I have always gotten that. I've always gotten that from people, or like, I just feel like I'm unapproachable, and I am like very kind. Like, I never go rude to anyone, and I just related to that so much. So her personality, I feel like, is very spunky. So I have my notes here. Loving her attitude, loving her as a person. I love being in her head. She just reminds me so much of myself. She's very spunky, and she doesn't take shit from nobody, clearly. And so she's taking care of her 17-year-old sister. They are all they have. First chapter that we get from Macy, we're on the way to the interview. And so she sees Grace, which is the wife. The wife is doing the interview. She seems really down to earth, really nice. And she tells Macy, I know this listing was for a caretaker, but, we already know her husband is dead. He's been dead for 3 months, but she has to go away for their daughter's wedding in Florida. So she needs Macy for the weekend to continue the rites. She's just like, what? This is not, no, this is sketchy. She's immediately, nah, I gotta go. I'm so sorry. This is not for me. And the lady, you could tell that she's desperate. You could tell that no one's biting. So she decides to offer $9,000 for the whole entire weekend, and she'll pay 3,000 upfront. And so Macy, she just got an eviction notice. She is broke. They can't even afford bills or food or nothing. So she's just like, look, I have to do this. Like, there's no way I could turn this down. So she agrees. The lady literally pays her 3,000 like while she's on her way home. And she's like, holy shit, dude, I haven't seen this much money in my bank account in so long. So she goes home and she tells her sister, and her sister's like, hell no. And her sister is another character I really enjoy because she seems so funny and like like kind of like a tomboy. There was a part in the book that she said, I think it was her teacher. I think it was her teacher. Her teacher was like, "Oh, your hair's so beautiful. You should not cut it." And she, just in spite of it, she literally shaves her hair off, and so she has like a little buzz cut. Just for like the patriarchy. So like she feels very feminist. Far, our two characters that we're following, I'm obsessed with them. I really like the sister relationship, and it's just really reading so fast. Like I'm really enjoying where the pacing is going. It's very fast paced, not a dull moment. And just the writing style. I love Marcus Clurer's writing style. I have no issues with it. So so far so good. But Grace, the wife, she winds up giving Macy a VHS tape. She's like, take this home, look at it at home because this is the rights, the rules for the job. So she gets home, she's digging through all her stuff to find her VHS machine so she can play this tape. And when she plays the tape, oh my god, it's so creepy. It's so creepy because we're getting her Grace's husband on the TV, and he records the rights. I know you probably think I'm batshit crazy, but don't learn the hard way like I had to do. So in one of the, like in every right, he goes, if things don't go according to plan for some reason, I'm gonna leave you an envelope. And the envelopes, like this says, in case of lights, because you have to leave the lights on certain times of the day. And if you don't, there's an envelope for that in case of emergency, in case of rabbits. And everything just feels so, like the rules just feel so random. There's no reasoning behind it. But he just seems very paranoid. The VHS keeps glitching to like, it'll be him on his couch talking about the rights, and then all of a sudden it will glitch and it'll go to like a room, like a psych ward room. That's how it sounds like when she's explaining it, and then it'll go back to him sitting on the couch explaining the rights. So that's kind of where we left off. She just watched the recording with her sister, even though she was supposed to watch it alone, but her sister's like, I don't care, like I'm gonna watch it with you, like this is crazy. Like she just thinks her sister's batshit for taking this job, but they have no choice. And so we don't know if there's going to be repercussions because of that. I also, yesterday I got some exciting book mail. I've been hearing Michaela Reeds rave about this freaking book. As soon as I saw her vlog and she gave it 5 stars and she was raving about it, I immediately added it to my TBR. And so the publishers sent it to me and I could not believe my freaking eyes. It's The Dissection of a Murder by Joe Murray. I've never read anything from this author, but it's a courtroom police procedural type of book. But she's been raving about it, and then Passed Out Bookshelf, she was raving about it too. And Alice Feeney blurbed it, and Alice Feeney is one of my favorite authors ever. I am absolutely so excited for this book. It says a dead judge, a silent defendant, and a courtroom full of liars. So courtroom thriller, I am so down for that. I cannot wait. This is definitely getting bumped in my TBR because it's releasing on May 5th. So I need to get to that ASAP. So that might be my next read. But yeah, I'll continue to read and give you guys an update when I have more thoughts. Friends, I have some reading updates. I did finish Yesteryear, and I tell you, I am very surprised of how much I love this book. This had so much great social commentary. I was talking about this book in the beginning of the video. I agree with it being a lit fic with suspense. Man, that was hard to say. This is not a thriller in my opinion, but this was so good. It was addictive. Was compulsively reading it. I could not stop listening to this book. The audiobook I thought was very well done. Just the dark humor, Don't mind my messy bed. I don't feel like doing it. Okay. So look how much notes. Let me see. Is this it? Yeah. I literally had to go to 2 pages with notes because I was just like listening and just staring at in space because I was just envisioning everything. Like I didn't even need to do a hobby in order to listen. I was literally just sitting there like a statue because that's how good it was. I didn't even need to do anything with my hands. I just wanted to fully consume myself in this audiobook. Now, as you can tell, I rated it 5 stars. 5-star. I'm surprised. I thought it was like, oh, I could see this being a 4-star. I did not expect it to be a 5-star. I can't believe this is a debut novel. And I hear that it is going to be an adaptation. I'm not sure when, but Anne Hathaway is going to be Natalie, which is our FMC in the book. Oh man, I can't wait for that. I obviously told you guys a little bit about what the book was about. It's a trad wife. We're literally in Natalie's head the whole book. Her inner dialogue was so interesting. Her life was sometimes insightful, but equal parts infuriating. There was moments where she would say something and I'm like, oh hell no, like what the hell's wrong with you? But then there was moments that she would say something and I would relate to her, like with being a mother and being a woman, so much on our shoulders all the time, and our expectations of being this perfect mom and perfect wife, perfect woman in life can really tug you on your mental health. And this shined so much light on mental health, and I really loved seeing this snowball of disaster throughout the whole book. Like it was just phenomenal. Like so much to talk about. This would be a perfect book club book because I feel like there's so much discussion if you read this book. And this also had religious commentary. A few people that I follow on socials, they were doing reviews and they were saying that some of the Bible quotes weren't even real Bible quotes, which was intended. And I just love when books have those little things that you may not notice, and then at the end you're like putting things together and so much that you're trying to dissect. And that's when you know this is a great book. When you have to dissect stuff and you're like, whoa, wow, and you're really just putting everything into perspective. This definitely felt like a fever dream type of a book, because when we're going through this time travel part of the book, when she's back in 1800s, you're just like, what is going on? Like you're just trying to decipher, what could this be? Is she crazy? Is something happening? Is this time travel? You're just like really trying to figure it out. And I'm telling you, the reveal had my jaw on the floor. I was at a coffee shop with like my jaw on the floor, just looking in the space. I was like, I can't believe, I did not expect that. And I know some people in some of the reviews were like, oh, that was predictable. I didn't predict it. I was just like, wait, what? I was blown away. It was so refreshing. I feel like it was very refreshing type of reveal, just done so well. The ending was executed to perfection. I feel like it was just so good. Oh my God, I'm gonna be talking about this book forever. I need a physical copy immediately, because there was things that I tabbed. In one of the parts where we're in her inner dialogue, Natalie, she goes, I walk around the island and pull out a stool like a good little dog, wife that I was. Bark, bark. Like the audio says that and I'm like, this is so good. This is so good. Like she's just being so sarcastic. She's being satirical. The story really goes down. Obviously, it explains her life, how she met her husband, how her upbringing with her mother was, which was very toxic in the beginning. But I want to say her mom redeemed herself towards the end. But in the beginning, it was a lot of toxic mother-daughter relationship on being this perfect Christian daughter, perfect Christian woman, the expectations a woman should always have. They should always obey their husband, and just a lot of that stuff. And I'm not religious at all. I'll tell you that right now. I feel like a lot of religious people will not like this book. But for someone like me, that I'm an atheist, I don't have a religion. I'm more of like spiritual. I just loved the conversations of like hiding behind religion. Still had the conversations I like when it comes to religion, and being somebody that follows faith but doesn't really follow faith. It's just a facade. And I just really am interested in that conversation because it's just seen so many times. And I love that this book shined a light on it in the most perfect way, in my opinion. Being a mother, you know, Natalie had 6 kids. I was like, girl, oh my God. I got 2 and I said, tie me up, baby, I'm done. And she kept saying throughout the book, like, our biggest achievement as women is to have children and continue to have children and be the perfect wife for your husband and just things like that. And her husband was a total POS. He was a loser. He didn't want to do anything. He was just, ugh, I did not like him at all. And throughout the book, she's starting to see that he's not this perfect man that she first fell in love with. And she starts to see his flaws throughout the years and this popular influencer and how that became. And I just loved it. This is my favorite trad wife book by far. I've read a few of them, but this one is top freaking tier for me. I think it was beautifully written. I mean, honestly, I have no bad things to say about the book. I couldn't find not one thing. The ending was good. Also, I saw someone say that this book is it kind of resembles a true life or a real life influencer that lives on a farm. I don't know who it was. I have a feeling I know, and I wrote it in my notes and I'm like, is this kind of like resembling her? Like, I don't know. If you read the book and you know what I'm talking about, message me because I want to talk about it. I think that's like all I have to say, without spoiling anything. But if you like anything I just said, if any of that interests you, I think this is a book for you for sure. Just don't go into this book thinking it's a thriller. It's absolutely not. But if you like lit fic with a little bit of suspense, a book that has something to say in the best way. I just feel like I love a book that has something to say, and this had so much things to say, but it was just executed perfectly. It didn't feel like too much. It didn't feel like it was disjointed. It didn't feel like it was just all over the place at all. I felt like it was perfectly done. I do have my the caretaker here. I am about 150 pages into this one, so I want to say like 50% almost, maybe 46, whatever, 50%. And I feel like we're in a little bit of a lull. Macy's at the house taking care for the weekend, and you know, creepy things are happening, but not like creepy where it's uniquely creepy, you know, like I'm like, oh, okay, lights are turning off, oh, okay, you know, a little bump in the night here and bump in the night there. Nothing too out of the ordinary is happening. Obviously I'm just pushing through, but I did need a little bit something else in between, so I wound up picking on my Kindle. Just needed like just a little refresher because I was kind of feeling a little slumpy after that little part. I was like, oh, okay, I need things to pick up a little bit, which I'm sure they are because I have a feeling, you know, I'm about to just get into the good stuff. So not like I'm not liking it. I just feel like it's a little slow in this moment. I did pick up To Those I've Killed Before by J.L. Hyde. And this one is about a woman. She's about 40 years old and she gets a medical diagnosis that she's dying. And so she has a sister, and her sister has a daughter that's 18. And the daughter, she has a very strong relationship with her, which are a character that has cancer now. Her name is Rachel. And so she has this great relationship with Rachel, and, you know, they're trying to bond during this, you know, horrible time. Rachel decides to confess her sins to her niece. And so her niece is like, okay, I can keep your secrets. Like, I'm here for you, whatever you want. And she starts pretty much telling her about her life. And one thing about me, what I love about books, I love books that like someone is telling their story, telling a story, telling their life story. Like, I don't know why, I just love that. Like, I'm sat when it comes to people just telling their story. And so we're kind of going through little timelines of Rachel's life when she was 14 and she's her first crush. And as she's telling the stories, she's kind of confessing to the murder she has committed in her lifetime. And her niece is just sitting there like, huh? Man, what? Are you sure you want to tell me this? So, you know, we're learning her life. I'm about 50% into the book. Reading very, very fast. So far, I'm intrigued. Like I said, I like when I'm getting told a story. Although the stories aren't like, what? Oh my God. Wow, I can't believe she did that. She's kind of being like a vigilante, and she's pretty much killing piece of shit men. I'm here for it. I'm here for a unhinged female vigilante. But the way she's doing it, like, it's just kind of like not unique. It's like, oh, okay. It was convenient. Like something happened and then she just so happened to be there and she's like, well, I'm not gonna help you, so I'll just let you rot there. So technically she didn't do it in some of the moments, but she didn't help it either. So yeah, we're just learning about her life. Nothing crazy has happened. Her health is slowly declining, like losing a family member to cancer. I like that already was pulling on my heartstrings. So I was like, damn, that sucks, dude. And you know, you can feel the love that the niece has for Rachel and vice versa. And the sister, Rachel and her sister. In the beginning of this book, it does have a trigger warning for suicide. So yeah, definitely check your triggers for this. I hear this gets really dark. But yeah, her sister is Kim and it's her younger sister at that. And you can just tell that Kim has been this pillar in the family, always taking care of others, always being that responsible sister. And Rachel was more of the badass. And so she's taking care of her sister during this time. And, you know, they're all going through this grief before this horrible thing may happen. So far I'm enjoying it. It's not blowing me away at all, but it is going by fast and it's getting me out of that little slumpy feeling that I was feeling before. So it's doing what I needed to do. So that is our update. I'm sorry, it was a long one. I am a little bit of a chaotic reader, so I kind of just go as I feel and just do that. But I will be picking this up right now, reading for a little bit. I do have some errands I need to run in a little bit, but I do plan on getting a good chunk of this done today, so I can, the next update I give you guys will be done with this one, because I definitely want to just finish this one and I want to see how this ends. I will check in with you guys when I have an update. Okay, friends, hello, hi, I'm here with our last update. I finished The Caretaker. Oh man, you know, I wanted to love this so bad. By that last check-in that I did to the end, I will say there was creepy moments. I did like the descriptions of when shit was really hitting the fan with Macy in the house and the visitor that would come. I think that was the creepiest thing for me, the visitor and how he was described, or it was described. There was a scene in the basement with a VHS tape I also really enjoyed. But that was pretty much it. There was a moment with a rabbit that almost broke my heart because I had a rabbit. He passed away and I love rabbits so much. But thankfully it was okay, everything was fine. But at one point I was like, oh my god, don't you dare. But yeah, so it was just okay. I felt very like, all right, okay, that was all right. Yeah, I guess it was okay. Like, that's how I felt. So needless to say, I'm settling on a 3-star. Unfortunately, this just did not live up to what I wanted it to. Like I said, it was a good book. It just wasn't great. As for scary meter, I wouldn't say this was scary. It was creepy at best, but definitely not scary. It takes a lot to scare me, so if you're a little scaredy cat, maybe you'll get more scared. And maybe beginner-friendly, beginner thriller readers with a smidgen of horror, because I wouldn't even consider this a horror, to be honest. Like, there wasn't much horror elements in this. It was more so just a very eerie, atmospheric type of creepy book. I wouldn't even consider it a thriller either, because it wasn't really a twist or anything. There was no twist. It honed in a lot on the grief and Macy's grief and depression and mental health and suicide ideation. So make sure you check your triggers. But that, it was heavily focused on that versus like a plot or what was really going on with the house. Like, it was pretty much just Macy battling her own demons. It was just not plot focused or anything. It was really heavily focused on the depression, mental health elements versus anything else. And although I do appreciate that in my books, I don't like it to be the focal point in my books. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. If it does intrigue you, I would say wait for the library hold and don't buy it, in my opinion. But to each his own. So this will be on hold, unfortunately, because I'm not going to keep books that didn't wow me. And then as for the other book that I finished, it was To Those I've Killed Before by J.L. Hyde. I rated this one 3.25. This was great storytelling. I was really interested in the story and Rachel's life and everything, and the ending twist was pretty fairly predictable. This is heavily on DV, so check your triggers for that. Really enjoyed the vigilante aspect, taking things in your own hands. I'm such an advocate for that. So I did like that, but it was just an okay read. At least we got 1 5-star in the reading blog. I'm so glad I loved Yesteryear, but other than that, you know, it was just okay. And I'm still craving something to blow me away, especially a thriller. A thriller hasn't really blown me away recently, and I'm just really craving that. I'm still on the hunt. If you have any recommendations, please let me know and leave comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. Doing this vlog after so many months of not vlogging just gave me that spark, and it just made me so happy to just kind of talk to you guys about these books and like really going in depth about the books I'm reading while I'm reading it. I just love it. It makes me so happy. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day.